Shalom, shalom. You highly welcome my brothers and sisters out there. I'm glad that you just clicked to watch this message. Today, I'm going to be talking about the green light analogy. I'm going to be able to expatiate something to my brothers and sisters, hoping that they can be able to really grasp and understand the inner workings and how the enemy is actually operating or using them as an instrument to be gatekeepers for people. Now, my brothers and sisters out there, you must have heard a lot of people who are out there trying to be able to push people under the Torah, under the table of stone. And what they tend to be able to do is to be able to tell you that you have to be under the law of Moses. Literally, you have to keep the 10 commandments. Now, what these people do not really understand when it comes to them trying to be able to push people or point people under the table of stone, these are the same people that are completely against the word and the things which Yahushua has done. How? I'm going to be able to explain to you, because what they are literally doing by telling you to go under the table of stone is they are telling you that, yeah, Yahushua can speak whatsoever that he wants, that they want to be able to do whatsoever they themselves want. And by so doing, they are in total disobedience to the words which Yahushua has spoken. And by so doing, you that is their follower, you are endangering your spiritual growth, because they are going to be injecting something in your heart that is going to be a barrier for you to enter into the kingdom of Yahushua. Now, what does the Bible say? Because we are now on the time whereby we need to be able to dissect whatsoever that is already being said, so that brothers and sisters can be free from this mental enslavement from people who are trying to be able to help them out from Christianity, but yet in front of them they are placing another trap which they cannot be able to see. Now, what do I mean by the green light analogy? You are somebody who is a believer in the word. What is the word? Yahushua said, I am the way, the truth, and life. There is no man cometh to the Father except by me. It is very clear. There is no doubt about it. And that was the reason why Yahushua made it very clear to the children, to the people, which are the children of Israel and the wide world. He said to them that you have heard of them of old times. What he was trying to be able to make them understand is that, because you have people during the time that we are looking at Yahushua as if he has come to do what? To destroy the law of Moses, which a lot of the same people who are pushing you under the Torah, this is what they are afraid of. The same message that we are preaching about Yahushua, which they are afraid of, but it's the same thing that they are pushing you people under the Torah, and they are still afraid of the words of Yahushua, which we are bringing to our brothers and sisters. So the same thing that has been happening, it is still going on. Why so many of these people who are blind preachers are being used as an instrument to deprive people from the grace, from the opportunity that is being contained in Yahushua. Yahushua made it very clear during the time of the Pharisees, scribes, and the elders of the people. They came to him and they were like, you are doing all this. You are performing. You are making as if you are the one that everything has to roll over through. That was the reason why when they asked him, he said that to them. He was trying to tell them very straight. It was being written in the law that thou shalt not kill. You people are trying to be able to, you want to keep the law. You people say that you people are law keepers, right? Now, these are the things which are being written on the law, right? Thou shalt not kill. But I say to you, not even matter of only killing. Do not hate a brother in other, because you cannot kill somebody that you do not hate. So the origin of this problem is hate. Therefore, first address this issue of hate and not the outcome of what the root cause has caused. They were angry because you know why? That particular spirit of hate is with these people. They don't have that spirit of love. And now what I want you to be able to understand is that check the lives of everybody that think that they are preaching on this back to Torah movement messages which they are preaching. Check the life of all of them. What are they preaching? What are they teaching the people? They inject hatred for you for a certain people. They inject hatred on your heart, trying to let you know that, oh, it is only meant for these people. Therefore, by them making that comment, they are literally telling you people that they are the gatekeepers. But you don't understand the tactics, the way that things work here, right? They are literally standing beside, they are literally standing before, blocking the people who needed to be able to go to Yahushua. And this is exactly their role. They are the extraterrestrials of this particular time. Now, what do I mean by this? These are the people who actually tells you to go under the Torah and be keeping the law, thou shalt not kill, but behind they have not addressed the issue that caused the killing at the first place. Now, how can killing stop if there is a hatred that has not been addressed? And that is exactly where they are going to, to continue recycling people. Now, what do I mean by recycle? What do I mean by this? You hear when Yahushua said it very clearly that you have heard of them of old time, which is on the law, which we cannot deny it was there. Thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you, do you know the reason why the elders of the people, the scribes and the Pharisees, had a problem with Yahushua the same way that the people who are back to Torah movement today are having problem with the truth of Yahushua? It's because Yahushua wanted to free the people from this mindset of what? Of hatred against a people. Because Yahushua came, I was not sent but unto the lordship of the house of YAH. The question that you need to ask yourself to understand is, who are the lordship of the house of Israel? And what made them to be the lost? Because by the time you know the answer to this, then this will now help you to correct those assumptions, those acts of being the lost sheep. The lost sheep of the house of Israel, they are the ones that have gone astray. What is it by going astray? They are the ones that have the spirit of hate in them against a people, and then blocking those people from having the opportunity to coming into the fold of Yahushua. So what the Father did was to send Yahushua to be able to bring back those people who are lost. The house of Israel comprises the people in the children of Jacob plus the children of Israel. Now, the children of Jacob and the children of Israel together is called the house of the house of Israel. Now, what does that mean? It means that what? That everybody that believes in the word of Yahushua, everybody that believes in the word of Yahushua is going to be part of this new kingdom that is being built, that is not based on Jacob or just Israel. Now, Israel is a collection of people from all walks of life. Jacob is the bloodline that is running for eternity, through which even Yahushua himself manifested. I don't know if you're getting what is going on here, right? So the house of Israel are a people who comprises the children of Jacob, who have their bloodline running, like every other tribes, right, today, have their bloodline running. So now, Yahushua came from those bloodline of promise. Now, from that bloodline of promise, already there is a gathering of what? Of children of Israel, which comprises of different ethnicities. Now, the combination of the children of Jacob and this Israel together makes the house of Israel. Now, when Yahushua said, I was not sent but to the lordship of the house of Israel, these were people who have gone astray. Now, trying to bring them back under the fold. Now, this fold that he's bringing them back under the fold in is the creation of his own kingdom. Now, Yahushua is not building any other thing rather than building his own kingdom. And how does he build his own kingdom? He's building his kingdom by picking people from the tribe of, from the people of Jacob and the combination of the children of Israel together. He unified them together to form his own kingdom. His own kingdom is his own kingdom. That was why the Bible said, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. When the angel visited Yahushua in the book of Matthew, it visited the mother to be able to explain what this child is going to be. So the angels was revealing what is going to take place, or how this particular being, this spirit that is being born now, is going to do what is going to establish his own kingdom. And his kingdom, there is not going to be an end to it. So, and that is the kingdom, is what he is building. How is he building it? His kingdom is being built in the way that he is selecting people from all walks of life. But then we have a problem there. There are people who are from the tribe, from the children of what, for example, now, who are among the children of the house of the Israel, the tribe of Israel, literally, who are now saying no, that it is not supposed to be for everybody, that it is only supposed to be for them. Now, Yahushua have already made this an open something to the extent the Father already made it open, and Yahushua made it open to every tribe, nation, and tongue. But now you have a people who are blocking it and say no, that it is not supposed to be. So you see the contradiction there. So now what happened is that these people now, what they literally do is, they will now try to be able to look for a means to prevent you in order for you to benefit from the creation of that kingdom of Yahushua. Because the kingdom of Yahushua is a completion of everyone that believes in Yahushua is part of the people who are going to be used to create or to build that kingdom. You understand it? You are going to be a part of a people who are going to be used to create the kingdom of Yahushua if you follow the word of Yahushua. So, but now we have a problem there. We have a problem of a people who are trying to be able to do what you hold, to be like those gatekeepers that are going to be preventing people from going into the kingdom of Yahushua in order to form the kingdom of Yahushua. Because in the kingdom of Yahushua, there is no such thing as tribes. These people are one in Yahushua. So they are now pushing. Now, how do they do it? They have to be able, how do they play the role of being the gatekeepers? They simply inject words of hatred in your heart against a people. Telling those people, telling every other person that these people are this, these people are this, and therefore creating a hatred. And that hatred is actually the root of murder, is the root cause of death. You understand what Yahushua said? You have heard of them of old times. It is said, thou shalt not kill. But I said unto you, whosoever, he does not make an exemption. You hate your brother without a cause. You are a murderer already. Because that hate is going to lead you into killing this particular person. That is the root. That is the first step into killing somebody. You understand it? So now Yahushua was trying to be able to address that, but now you see people who are pushing things to be able to do what? To bring people and draw them and keep them under that spirit of hatred. Why? Because they do not want them to have the freedom of loving in order to do what? To bring them into that particular fold. So this is the reason why I talk to my brothers and sisters. The analogy of the green light is very clear. To the people who think that they can be able to push people under the Torah and thinking that those people whom they are pushing under the Torah are obeying the Torah, when Yahushua is speaking the word that overrides the Torah, so how can you be and somebody who is obeying the Torah when you are in total disobedience to the one that actually was used to put that particular Torah there? When you are disobeying his word, how can you fulfill the Torah if you are a disobedient child? Now, let me refresh your memory on that. You have a person who is a police officer who is in the middle of a road. There is traffic jam. And this traffic jam, the light is there, for example. Everywhere is like, there is confusion everywhere. So in the midst of this confusion, a police officer who is the institutor, that is, who is the one that puts the traffic light there, have seen that things are out of control. So they needed to be able to come on the scene themselves. So they came on the scene there. Because why? Things were out of control. People, this is exactly why you need to be able to understand why the Bible talked about, you have gone astray, the lost sheep. Things have gone astray. Things have gone in different directions. The lost sheep of the house of Israel. So these people, at the crossroad, there is too much congestion. Somebody needed to come in the middle of that road as a police officer. And when that person comes into that particular middle of the road, the light is a green light. There is a green light there for you to drive. But the moment that this particular officer is on the road there and then he tells you to stop, despite you having a green, are you going to, because of your foolishness, obey the light which was there, or are you going to obey the instruction of the police officer who is there to control that particular same traffic? Now, this is the mindset of these people who are back to Torah. They tell you that because that light that you see represents now the Torah. And the person, the officer, the being that is in the middle of that road controlling the traffic represent the higher power. Now, if you obey the instruction of this police officer by coming when the light, despite the light is red and you are dry, and he asks you to come, what you are literally doing is you are not disobeying any traffic. But rather, what you are doing is you are completely obeying the command, the purpose of why that traffic was there. So, using this particular analogy now to be able to make my brothers to understand that the moment that Yahushua came on the scene, his purpose was to make you, in all ramification, is to make you to obey the word of the Father, which is why this particular officer was there. And when you obey the word of the Father, you have already fulfilled that particular purpose of that particular law. This was the reason why when he came, he said, you have half of them, or thou shalt not kill. But I say to you, if you have hatred for your brother, what happened? What was he trying to do? He was trying to elevate souls. If you don't know it today. He was trying to be able to elevate those who are going to be the fulfillers, those who are fulfilling the law, rather than those who are using the law as a bondage for people. Because in that particular instance, if you try to be able to drive having green, but the officer said to you, stop, and you continue driving, what do you think that you are doing? Don't you think that you're going to be so foolish? Because why? You literally have disobeyed. In the eyes of that officer, you're completely against the law. So therefore, your foolishness is what is going to hold you accountable. Because you see somebody who is actually the original person who puts the light there for the purpose of which he put it there. But the light was the place was too crowded. There was confusion. And now he came on the scene by himself. The coming of Yahushua means the coming of this mighty one in the scene in order to control this traffic. And then he did it. And yet you have the guts, you have the audacity to point people back to tell them to beat the green light, to continue going to the green light, despite the fact that the officer said to you, wait. You see your stiff neck, you see that stubbornness? You see that stubbornness that has been running on your vein for the longest? And that is the same problem that so many of them have, which they have been transferring into other people, to use it as a barrier for you not to see where the mercy, where the gift of Yahushua, where the gift of the Father through Yahushua have come to humanity. So they are trying to be able to be like those gatekeepers. They are the ones, I'm telling you, they are the actual ones that are against. These were the ones who were against Yahushua. Because all what they do is to be able to tell you to disobey the word of Yahushua. They don't recognize his authority. That is the problem. They don't recognize the authority of Yahushua by asking you to go back under the stone. Are you getting what is happening? And this is why Yahushua, the Bible makes us to understand. And if the Son shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed. Don't you understand that? Is it not clear? Why does the Bible use the term indeed? Because so many people think that they are free. You think that you can keep the Shabbat, you can keep the law of Moses, you can keep it with your 2 fingers, with your muscles. When everything about it is already against you, you are already a breaker of the law, right? Even before the Moses, just take the things that happened in the Mount of Horeb. The Bible says even before Moses came down, before he came down, what happened? The people already broke the law. They've already made themselves an idol. What does it mean to make yourself an idol? That is to say, you have already made your decision on what you want to follow or what you want to do, believing that that thing that you're doing is the right thing. And that is exactly the problem that these people have who call themselves back to Torah. What they do is to be able to do what? To deviate people into their own bondage, to put them into their own bondage. And when they are in their own bondage, they are going to be the ones that are sucking the energy of those people. Those people who put them under those bondage are going to be the ones that are going to be sucking them. You don't understand the magnitude. You don't know the reason why Yahushua said in the book of John, chapter number 1 from verse number 2, as many as receive him, receive who? Receive Yahushua. As many as receive him, to them he gave power to become the sons and daughters of Yah. But these people, they said, no way. Hear their words. Hear it very clearly. They said, no way, that it is not for everybody. They said, no, it is only for us. These people, it is only for the people who are keeping the Torah. How can you keep the Torah when you are in disobedience with the word of Yah? How can say you are obeying the law when you beat the red light. And in front of that red light, the police officer have already told you to do what? To go. For example, the light is already green and the officer said to you, stop. But no, you want to do your own thing your own way because you are a law to your own self. And the same mentality, the same mindset that you have is the same thing that you are impacting on the life of the people who are your followers. Telling them to do what? To disobey Yahushua. And that is exactly where the problem is. Because by you telling them what you are doing, literally doing, is to be able to do what? To give them that spirit of hatred, which is a barrier to them getting into the kingdom of Yah. Because in the kingdom of Yah, Yahushua is love. And those who are going to worship him are going to worship him in what? In Yahushua, through Yahuwah, are going to worship them in what? In the spirit and in truth. Yahuwah is love. When you hear people talk under their ignorance, the way that they have this zeal, this spirit to keep people dark, it is something different. May you remain Baruch, my brothers and sisters, in the name of Yahushua, as we study this book, in the name of Yahushua. Shalom, my brothers and sisters out there. Shalom.